CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I'm your host, Nick Quaglia, here with Marv, Ezhan. No Mike Molyneux this week, so it's just me and Marv. Off-season talk. Nothing too crazy going on.
Not yet.
But Stephon Gilmore, that's starting to heat up a little bit. We had a little social media post this week that got deleted, and I think it's like it's.
He deleted it?
I think that's what I read. I actually didn't check to see if it was deleted, so maybe it's not deleted.
I'm gonna check. I know CBS Sports deleted it.
Okay, so I saw, and maybe he didn't delete it then, because I read an article. It's a tweet that was later deleted. So if CBS Sport, maybe that's probably what they were referring to.
Right.
Okay, so disregard that false information there. But regardless, we've now basically heard. I would say we've now heard from Stephon Gilmore that he's clearly upset about the contract. Is that our first legitimate signal?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we already knew, but now it's out there, and I don't see it on his Twitter no more, so it's gone as well.
Okay, so either he deleted that, or I don't know, maybe Twitter somehow deleted it when CBS deleted it. But regardless, the main conversation here is that contract. And again, now that we know Stephon Gilmore is legitimately pissed, here's the thing. I think he kind of has the right to be, and not because
100%.
He's one of the best, if not the best, at what he does in the league. And when you see a tweet put out like that from CBS, you see that he's not even a top 10 paid defensive back. Like, you have the right to be pissed. You have the right to be pissed. Now, this is the tweet that we're referring to, obviously, if you guys don't know. CBS Sports HQ tweets out, highest paid DBs in the NFL, and it goes top to bottom. Ramsey, Humphrey, White, Slay, Jones, Howard, Bradbury, Peters, Wayne, Jackson, and obviously Gilmore not on that list. And the Gilly Lock on Twitter quote tweets it and says, "Oh, okay, ... So, again, signifying that he is pissed about that contract. So, Marv, do you think a deal's going to get done?
Absolutely. The deal's going to get done in these next couple of weeks. Look, if Gilmore was going to be traded, he would have got traded already. The Patriots need Stephon Gilmore. It is clear as day. You're going into this year, and how you constructed this defense, you need a number one corner. J.C. Jackson, he's great. What's that meme that's going around right now, though? You're not that guy. You're not that guy, pal.
You're not that guy, pal.
And J.C. Jackson's not that guy yet. He's not. But Stephon Gilmore is. Yeah, I get it. He's reaching. He's in the back in the 30 or early 30s, and that's bad for corners. But he still has the mental. When you still have him getting coached up by Bill Belichick, I love what I saw from what I'm going to see from Stephon Gilmore. I think that a contract will be done. I think it'll be 2-3 years maybe. And is he going to get top $18 million contract? No. But when you see guys like, who's the last one on the list that's getting $13 million right now, Nick? You have that list?
Yeah, I do. No, actually, I deleted it off of ESPN.
Oh, well,
because it kept playing an advertisement in my ear, which I thought Google Chrome was done with autoplay advertising.
You gotta pay that extension, brother.
I'm not paying crap. I'll deal with it.
I forget right now on the top of my head who's that 10th player getting $13 million. But yeah, he's nowhere near Stephon Gilmore's level. You know what I'm saying? And Gilmore's getting grossly underpaid right now, and I think the Patriots should do him right and get a contract north of 13, around there at least. Get him there, and he'll show up, and you're gonna have a great year. I know I was reading somewhere, someone was saying, "Do you guys really think Tom Brady's gonna come into New England, and you're not gonna have Stephon Gilmore there?"
Jeremy Fowler, I believe that was Jeremy Fowler when he was on ESPN on Sports.
Yep. So I seen that. I'm like, and that's hey, listen, I know not everything's gonna be centered around Tom Brady, but you got to think about elite quarterbacks in general. You're talking about the AFC East now, where you have Josh Allen, who I think is going to be a monster for years to come. So you got to shore up your defensive back, and Stephon Gilmore allows you to do that. And then you got guys like Jalen Mills, where you can switch from safety to corner. It makes it for a special defensive back group if you have Stephon Gilmore there.
Right, and you know my take on the Tom Brady situation here. I think a lot of this offseason had to do specifically with week 4. With week 4 in mind, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. You know Bill doesn't want to lose that game. Bill doesn't want to get smoked in that game, especially. He's going to have Gilmore, one of the best, if not the best corner in the NFL, up against Tom. He's going to do it, and it's going to be an electric showdown between those two. So, going back to the Jeremy Fowler thing, I'm glad you brought that up. So, this was his quote on SportsCenter, and this comes after Gilmore's tweet. So the Patriots and Gilmore know that they can intensify contract talks sometime in the next few weeks. And I'm told that Gilmore has largely not expected to be traded throughout this process because he knows the Patriots have made moves with Gilmore in mind. Now, just talking about, like, I don't know how you want to phrase this with Gilmore tweeting that out. I don't think that wasn't a malicious tweet. But it was saying, like, here's what I'm saying, guys. I know I'm grossly underpaid and I want to get paid more. What, $7 million this year?
$7 million.
Now, just being a normal person here, right? Me and you are just normal dudes, just making normal salaries, right?
Yeah.
What I see, and I get it. I get it. This is no slander by any means to athletes. I wish I was an athlete. I just stink, so I can't be an athlete. So I get it. But when I see numbers like I was looking at Gilmore's contract, 2017 deal, 5 years, $65 million worth $40 million guaranteed, or with $40 million guaranteed, and $31 million guaranteed at the time of signing. When I see those numbers, I'm like, we're griping over here about a few more $1 million. You know, sometimes I have to think about whether or not I want to pay for Chipotle. Like, I wish I had those kinds of numbers.
It's about the respect, Nick. It's about respect.
That's what I'm saying. No slander, none. When I see those numbers, I'm like, damn.
I mean, look, the defensive backs, the numbers have changed throughout the years. We all remember when Gilmore got that contract. Everyone over here was saying, "Sheesh, Belichick never makes a move like that."
We were like, he must love it.
No one, and especially when you had Malcolm Butler that was supposed to get paid, and you went off and you got. I mean, hindsight's 2020. He obviously made the right move and the right decision to do so. But now the market's gone up, and Gilmore wants to get paid as his respected peers, and currently he's not. Now you can bring up. We mentioned it early on this show. We can bring up health. We can bring up how's his leg gonna hold up. You know, he missed last season off of that, but from all accounts, it looks like he's healthy. It's not a health issue. So I think they're gonna get it done in these next few weeks.
Yeah, I do too. I agree with you, and believe me, like, I want Gilmore on this team. I think he is crucial to that defense, especially when you set up a defense that it looks like on paper is going to be damn good. And if you add Stephon Gilmore to that list, I mean, it's like adding Chris Sale to the Red Sox rotation. It's just going to get better. Well, you hope, at least with Chris Sale. Who knows at this point? It's been quite a while since he pitched. But I think the real question for Gilmore comes down to, or with the Patriots and Gilmore, I think it comes down more to, is it going to be a one-year deal? Because you know Bill's going to use that injury part of these conversations. You know he's going to do that. He's gonna reference that injury. He's going to try to use that to his advantage. But I think it's going to come down to, is it going to be a one-year deal, or is it going to be north? I don't think 2. I would be shocked if 2 is on the table. I think it's going to be a 1-year deal or 3 to 4. That's all it comes down to.
One thing I know I mentioned it earlier. It's going to be filled with incentives. It's going to be filled when you got a guy that age coming off of an injury. Okay, Gilmore, you want to get paid like your respected peers? Sure. But you might need to make all defense, all pro. You might need to get 10 interceptions. I'm gonna need to see multiple deflections out of game. It's gonna be a lot for him to make that full amount of money, but it'll be there. Now, can you produce?
Well, you know, I was gonna say, I don't even know if it's gonna be performance based. If there's incentives, I wouldn't be shocked if it's more just based on how many games you play.
Oh, that'll be added injury to it. Oh yeah, that'll be added to it for sure.
Yeah, I bet that's the bulk. You know, I bet that's the bulk. I bet that has more to do with how much money he makes this year than anything. And you know, if you play X amount of games and be, can you do this in NFL contracts? You can do with MLB contracts. You play X amount of games, the contract kicks in for the next year. Because that's part of the reason why the Red Sox got rid of Hanley Ramirez in 2018. Didn't want him to get those plate appearances.
They used to do that with Gronk. Percentage of how many plays he plays in a game and things like that. Right.
So I think I'm with you. I think they're going to get a deal done. I think they need to get a deal done. And I think it all goes back to the quarterback play. But I think if you have Gilmore in this defense, this is a top contending defense in this league. This is a defense that I am going to be picking in fantasy football this year if I get the opportunity.
With the offense still with their question marks, as much as it's improved, and I know we're going to talk quarterback in a minute, but with the offense of how it is, you need to make sure that your defense is elite.
You have to. And I think Bill knows that too with these moves.
Yep.
You have to. We have no idea how this quarterback play is going to be this year. And you know what? Since I brought up fantasy football, we got to have some fantasy football talks over this offseason too, especially once we get closer to the draft.
I already know what pick I am for one of my leagues.
See, I don't. I actually don't have a first or a third round pick.
I'm scrambling. That's bad. I had the 6th pick.
We have to do more fantasy football talks on here. We don't do enough. We're in. Me, you, and Mike are into fantasy football.
No,
even though Mike last year was dependent on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His entire roster.
It worked out for him the second half of the season.
Yeah, the first half we were like, Mike, what are you doing? It's there's this guy on TikTok that I follow. Because like I said, I'm like no first and third round pick. I have to find out like who's gonna be like a sneaky good pick to build my roster this year.
Some gems.
Yeah. So I follow this kid who he's probably like in his 30s, but whatever. He posts these videos every day, like dark horse picks. And, in today's day and age, a minute-long video is just too long. Like, I'm not trying to watch 60 seconds worth of a video as we record a 20-minute episode here. But, but this guy made, like, he was hyping it up for a full 60 seconds. He was like, this receiver, he's going to be the dark horse this year. He has a very real chance to be wide receiver 1 in fantasy football. And he's hyping it up like it's going to be like this obscure name. He gets to the end of the video. You know who he says?
How many guesses I get? Number 1 receiver, dark horse, Antonio Brown.
DeAndre Hopkins.
I don't get it.
Dude, as soon as you said DeAndre Hopkins, I went immediately to the comments. And everybody was like, I wasted a minute to hear DeAndre Hopkins is going to be a good fantasy football receiver.
Who's doubting that?
Dude, I don't know. That was the thing. I have no idea. But if you guys heard it here first, pick DeAndre Hopkins this year in your fantasy football draft. He's a pretty good receiver.
Yeah,
you haven't heard of him before. Anyway, wouldn't be the Patriots Roundtable this offseason without talking about the quarterback situation. But more specifically, I want to talk about these hype videos that Cam Newton's posting. And Marv, if you want to set this one up, because you set it up, I think, more perfectly than I'm going to be able to set this up. So tell me what you said before we got on the show.
Nick, I'm at that age where I start forgetting what I tell people and how I set things up. But this is pretty much, I like Cam. I like Cam Newton. Great guy. I was really happy last year. We're close to the time where he got signed last year with the New England Patriots.
Dude, we were all in on that signing.
We were all in. And you know why? You know why? One of the reasons we were all in? Those hype videos, man. I still remember the one with his son asking him, "So, Dad, where we going?" Cam's like, "Well, we're going up north." And it's like, oh, the chills. Then you see him hanging out with Julian Edelman and throwing these slants, and he's ready. And forget all the haters. They doubted me. I'm going to come to New England. And we know how the season went. Now we're going on to this year, where there's legitimate criticism. Nick has criticized him. I have criticized him. Mike Nice has criticized him. We've all criticized Cam for obvious reasons. Now
Mike Nice, by the way, known cheater in Madden NFL. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, if that video didn't come out last week, we gotta we gotta circle back on how Mike be cheating in Madden. And if we have time at the end of this video, I'll bring up the reasons why. Cam Newton probably 21 and Mike's Madden 20. But
probably a rookie.
Oh, sorry. Oh, so yeah, Cam coming in this year keeps talking about how he doesn't hear the haters and he's gonna silence everyone and he's above it all. And it's like it's very similar hype videos of last year. It's like, yo, Cam, bro, can you stop with the videos? Can the hype videos? You can't hype us up no longer. We know what you are. We want to know if you can throw 5 yards. We want to know if you can throw a
results.
Hit. That's it. I believe Cam is going to be the starter, and I feel like Cam could be very successful in this Patriots offense. I'm personally just sick and tired of the videos and saying you don't hear the noise, but then you're putting out a video that you don't hear. It just doesn't equate. The math doesn't equal what it's supposed to equal. So just please, just go to practice, work your butt off, and let's see the results. And then you can start doing the videos and start talking your mess when you win some games.
No, we talked about this right before the show, and the only one that really, like, when I read the caption, and this is nitpicking here, but when I read the caption, it's just work in silence, right? But when I read that, I'm like, dude, if you're posting it, you're not working in silence. It's the exact opposite. The video's muted. There's no sound in the video. I mean, that's in the literal sense, that's what it means here, I guess. But it's when you say work in silence, it's like just nobody's got to know a thing. But I've got a problem with hype videos in general. I really do, because every time you see these things on social media, on Twitter, and it happens leading up to the NFL draft, guys, it's the worst, because we always start off at, like, in December, there are guys who are like, oh, they're going to get picked at the end of the first round. They're going to get picked in the middle of the first round, blah, blah, blah. And even, like, I feel like NFL teams fall for this too. And then you see a hype video come out and you see this guy slinging a ball 60 yards downfield, perfect dime. And everybody's like, damn, get this guy on my team. Like, at one point, Zach Wilson, there were conversations about Zach Wilson in, like, November, where it's like Zach Wilson could fall down to the Patriots. Guy goes number 2. Mac Jones. It's like, oh, this guy's going to be number 3. They go Trey Lance, who there was a point, I think, in the offseason where people were like, Trey Lance, this guy might not even be a first-round quarterback.
Yeah.
Goes at number 3. So we see all these hype videos, and I'm like, guys, of course, when they post these videos, they're not going to post the bad stuff. Like, when Cam posts a video and he's like the video you're talking about throwing slants to Julian Edelman, he's not gonna post one where he tosses it behind him and misses him. He's not gonna post that. So of course, like, when we see these Cam videos, we're gonna be like, yes, this guy looks good, and he's an athletic specimen. He's an athletic freak.
Of course.
And when you see these videos, you're like, this guy looks like he's gonna absolutely tear it up this season. But we fall into the hype. But we fall into the hype no matter what, especially in the middle of an NFL offseason. We just want to know. We just want to get back into the season. Like, dude, before Cam got signed last year, we were like, there were reports like Jarrett Stidham. Patriots love this guy. Jarrett Stidham is going to be a stud in this Patriots offense.
I tell you, we would have got Trey Lance or Zach Wilson if Jarrett Stidham was the quarterback.
Imagine last year was hard enough. Last year I focused more on my fantasy football team than I did on the Patriots.
Oh, for sure, 100%. It got to the point you're really watching the Patriots just due to the fact that you had a player on your team and you wanted to see them go off against you.
Yeah, every single week. It got worse and worse. But I mean, I'm with you in the sense where, like, I just want to see the results at this point. I don't want to see any more. Like, I don't need to be jacked up anymore. That was last season when it was a fresh slate. Now we're going into the season with very tempered expectations.
There's tape out on you, man. There's tape out on you.
Specifically in a Patriots uniform.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't mean to keep bringing it back to the Red Sox, but at the start of this year, Garrett Richards, he had one of those ironic mustaches. and he started getting rocked. And I was like, man, you can't have an ironic mustache and get smoked. Like, you have to be good to have a funny looking mustache. And it's the same thing with these videos. I'm like, dude, at this point, like, if you're gonna keep posting these hype videos, like, I want to see some results. I don't want to see hype videos and then go 7-9 again.
Yeah, I need someone, one of our viewers, to make us a hype video.
Of us?
Yeah, just us having crazy takes with music in the background.
Go back to 2018 or 2019. Like, this Patriots team could go undefeated.
Hey, I'm so glad I did not hop on you and Mike's train on that.
Mike gets me hyped up.
He does.
I guarantee I didn't go into that episode thinking that they were going to be undefeated. After hearing Mike, I was probably like, yo, this team might go 16-0. This team might do it. Even go back to last year with those idiots. After the Seahawks game, we're like,
oh, yeah, sign Cam now.
Sign Cam. And can you guys imagine a Patriots Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl? And they went 7-9.
Oh man, the beauty of doing weekly shows.
If you go back into our takes, it probably gets worse and worse. This is year 4 of the show.
If you can even go the opposite side of when we went to the Super Bowl against the Rams, we were trashing this team. Trash. Like, this is not a Super Bowl team. Next thing you know, they go off in the playoffs. Then they made it to the Super Bowl and beat the Rams.
Nothing but hot takes. Nothing but takes. All right, we got anything else?
Do it for? Anything else? Anything else with the Patriots? No, let's I think here's the hot take. Ready? Next time we do this show, there's a Gilmore contract.
Now, you're not saying that's with the Patriots.
Next time we do this show, there's a Gilmore contract.
Okay, I like that take. That leaves a lot of teams open. All right. We're going to talk more fantasy football on the show too, especially during the offseason. Like, drafts are coming up.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I got the number 6 pick. In the comments, let me know who should I go for.
I don't have a first round pick. So just tell me people to pick. And if anybody says DeAndre Hopkins, I'm going to be rattled. I tell you, I'm not taking Patrick Mahomes this year. I'm not doing it.
Do it, bro.
He screwed me at the end of last season and the year before.
Josh Allen was my quarterback, and he was great 2 years in a row.
There's some sneaky quarterbacks this year, and this is a little tease for future episodes here. There's some sneaky quarterbacks in this draft this year that I think are going to be big-time fantasy football players this year.
Dak Prescott.
Hey, in one of my leagues, losing him basically lost me the season.
He's a force.
And I'm big Dak guy. I would love to see Dak come back because, maybe, and more of a little tease. I fell off the Ezekiel Elliott train. I'm definitely still off the Ezekiel Elliott train, but if you can get him late, and if Dak comes back and Dak is being Dak again, that might help out the Zeke numbers.
Yeah,
I think the Cowboys' offensive line stinks. Yeah,
I'm off on Zeke.
I think I don't know. Is the Cowboys' offensive line still good?
They're decent, but I just don't think Zeke is that good anymore.
No. In his rookie season when he went off, he had a wagon of an offensive line. Wagon. All right, that's it. CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. Nick Quaglia and Marv Ezhan. Guys, we're gonna be back next week and potentially with a fantasy football segment. So stay tuned for that. And we're gonna be back with Mike as well. Nick Quaglia, Marv Ezhan, Mike Mono. Guys, we will be back next week. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.